Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2018 general readings. Thank you so much for joining us here today, and welcome to any newcomers. Yes, my background has changed a little. I'm not traveling, but I am recovering from foot surgery, which I had a couple of weeks ago, which doesn't affect my work with you or my regular clients or my new clients, my clients at all. But I have to keep my leg elevated, which is impossible to do at my desk. So for the next few weeks, I'll be doing all of my generals and private readings from my couch or bed or something like that. That's why the background's a little bit different. Well, thank you for joining me here today, and thank you to all those of you who continue to keep me so busy with personal readings, my new and regular clients, especially now. I have a little extra downtime. And if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me and you haven't read with me before, you've forgotten the information, all the details and contact info you can get by going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on the About button. You can also find them attached to the description bar of all the videos I post. Feel free to email me directly at maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I would be delighted to work with you. Turnaround time for personal readings is usually pretty quick, almost always within a couple of weeks or so. And since I have a little extra downtime now, sometimes a little bit faster for some of you. I do readings in all main areas of life: love and romance, of course, work, career, and finance readings, reconciliation opportunities, love and romance compatibility spreads, in addition to 6 and 12-month overviews, which look at what's coming in all the main areas of your life for a 6 or 12-month period of time, depending on how far ahead you want to look. And I also do channeled messages from passed on loved ones, as long as there is an emotional connection. So if you're interested, send me an email and we'll go from there. For if you just have a quick, fast, easy question you just want a fast answer to, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy. That's also with my contact info. So let's move right into this. This is for the Earth sign of Virgo for the month of April 2018. Remember, these are general readings and there's a lot of you watching, so the area of your life it resonates in and the degree and intensity is going to vary. The details and specifics will, but the energy remains the same. But we always advise you to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well, if you know them and if you can, for additional clarification and or sometimes more predictive resonating. You may find that at sometimes your rising or your moon sign video may play out a lot more precisely for you than your sun sign. Okay, Virgo, let's see what's in store for you for April 2018. We have the Ten of Swords, followed by Judgment. We have the Seven of Swords, followed by the Ace of Swords. We have the Page of Wands, followed by the King of Cups. And we have the Eight of Cups, understandable, followed by the Ace of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, your overall energy and guidance for the month is the Lovers. So Gemini, it looks like that there are some challenges this month. I mean, what month is there not challenges, right? There's always a silver lining in every cloud. I always find the positive aspects because there always is. But it does look like a bit of a challenge this month, and particularly in regards to a significant relationship. Because your overall energy and focus for the month is the Lover's card, which is a major arcana card, which can often represent, not always, but often represent a soulmate or a kindred spirit, a very connective, passionate, heated, enthusiastic relationship, a significant relationship. And also, there's usually a choice attached to it. In fact, in the early tarot decks, this was not called the Lovers, it was called the Choice. And in early decks, it showed a man standing in front of two women or a woman standing in front of two men, the implication being that a very significant decision was going to be made that was going to affect this relationship or the lives of everyone involved or around it in a profound, significant way, because it's a major arcana card, which is significant, profound energies, God, Spirit, your angels, and guides. So a pretty important choice. Some of you, this may not be about a romance relationship, but it typically is. The energy looks like it's focused around a very connected, significant relationship in your life. Now, it's a general reading. Some of you, this might be a love and romance relationship. It could be boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, something of that sort. It could be another significant relationship. Relationships are, when I say relationships, we often tend to think of love and romance, but that covers everything. It could be a family relationship, a best friend. It could even be a close work relationship, although there's so much emotional energy attached to it with the lovers. It's probably not, but it could be for some of you. But I feel like for the rest of you, the energy and the focus for April is a significant relationship, a very connected relationship that you're passionate about, or that there's a lot of high emotion, passionate feelings in. And I think for a lot of you who fall under that group, a pretty important decision needs to be made, and you may spend the majority of the month kind of thinking about that, what decision to make, because it looks like somebody hurt somebody else. The intensity is going to vary in a general reading, but it looks like somebody hurt somebody badly and left them with a sense of being betrayed or exploited or taken from. It could be actual theft too, I suppose. We have the Ten of Swords and Judgment for the first week, time being somewhat fluid, as I always say. And then the second week right next to it is the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So I mean, these two cards are right next to each other. Never really cards I like to see next to each other, if at all. The Ten of Swords tends to represent cycles ending to, or something coming to an end, and the Ten of Swords can represent, and often represents, feeling betrayed. It's sometimes called the stabbed in the back card. But the positive aspect of the Ten of Swords is that tends to represent the end. Whatever has happened to put this man face down on the ground, it looks like it was something fairly challenging or traumatic. It could have been in relationships. It could have been, it could have been actual theft, because we do have the deception card next to it. It could be deception that had something to do with infidelity or cheating. It could be a betrayal or a deception of another kind in a relationship. I mean, there's many ways that we can betray or deceive people that we care about, and vice versa. But tends to represent that it's done. It may have been very significant, powerful, traumatic, painful, challenging, but it's done. The worst is behind you. You can see that there's a healing light shining through these swords. The sun is rising in the background, a new day is dawning. The animals are beginning to return to the scene. Whatever happened to put him face down in the ground, it's time to stand up and allow the healing process to begin. Even though it does feel like there's a sense of unexpected betrayal. Now, it's accompanied and clarified by Judgment, a major arcana card. So Judgment is, it's a call to action, but it's a card that represents being held accountable, being accountable and responsible for what we do, for the actions we take, the decisions we make, the choices we make. Not what we wish we would have done or want or hope, but what we actually do. Judgment is a call. I mean, that's what judgment means. To be judged means to be held accountable for what we do. And there is a strong air, and it's a major arcana card, and there's a strong air of finality about Judgment. And Judgment often shows up in a spread where a significant decision needs to be made. And sometimes it shows up when the decision itself at the time may not seem to be that significant, but the consequences and ramifications of that decision will be far-reaching and far-playing, and it will play out for quite some time. Finality represents that what you decide, what you choose, what you do will have a lasting impact. You're not going to be able to kind of reverse it once you set something in motion. So in regards to whatever significant decision needs to be made here, Virgo, I hope I didn't say Gemini. I just finished Gemini not too long ago. This is for Virgo. Virgo, whatever you set into motion you're not going to be able to kind of back out from or reverse after you've done it. So there's always a cautionary advice to think very carefully, weigh everything out, take a step back and take the time to very carefully consider things. If you're the one that's been hurt or betrayed here, it can be very difficult. Emotions can be running high, and we're very tempted to say and do things that we sometimes later regret. And it can be difficult to set emotions aside. And I'm not saying to forget emotions, but I'm just saying if you're the one that's been hurt, before you just go charging off and doing something, take a step back and look at what the consequences and ramifications might be of decisions you make, actions you take, something you set in motion. If you're the one that hurt somebody else, then the advice here would be to be a grown-up, be accountable and responsible for your actions, even if they don't forgive you or whatever. You need to, take responsibility for your actions, admit it, say, look, this is what I did, this is why I did it, I'm sorry, whatever you need to do, because we're responsible and accountable for our actions. And even if not in the now, at some point that will come back to us. So always better to deal with it when it comes up. So next to that, we have the Seven of Swords and the Ace of Swords, which I feel is the reason behind this betrayal energy or whatever it was that this represents happening. We do have the theft or deception or slipperiness kind of energy with the Seven of Swords. It can represent actual theft, of money or property or resources. It can represent on an emotional level being exploited or taken advantage of. There is a sense of deception or sneakiness around this card of things being hidden or veiled, or things being presented one way, or somebody presenting themselves to be one thing when in fact the reality is something different. This can have a positive connotations too, but no tarot card is a standalone. You have to get what you channel, what your intuitive connection with divine tells you, and what the surrounding cards do in terms of helping to clarify it. And the crowds, everything around it and what I'm feeling is pretty clear. Somebody was sneaky about something. And this is coming to light too, and it may be coming to light continuously, for the first week or two, which is what usually happens, when we find out first the actual incident, the betrayal, the feeling, whatever it points to, and then usually after that, we get more about it, or we find out more details or information, which I feel is what happens after the initial shock of that betrayal energy, regardless of which side of the fence you're on that. Because that Seven of Swords, that sneaky deception energy, is clarified by the Ace of Swords. Aces represent a one, new potential, new beginnings. They somewhat mitigate a little bit, because aces can also represent just a shot of a little extra blessing or good luck, but they do represent new beginnings. This is the Ace of Swords. Swords is all about words, ideas, information, truth, enlightenment. And I just feel that the Ace of Swords comes in. Swords is not emotional energy, it's air energy, it's not water energy, and it's about what goes up in here. It's cerebral, mental, intellectual energy. It's not fettered or colored by emotion. The Ace of Swords comes in and it cuts all extraneous fantasy and illusion away from something and illuminates it in its clarity for exactly what it is. And I just feel that this combination of cards is just, you're finding out more about, it's kind of like there's this initial shock, or if you're the person that did it to somebody else, they're finding out. And then there's more details around it, or more things are coming to light, about this person, you or this other person's kind of level of deception. So, it's a very challenging energy. There's no way to really sugarcoat this, and I can't, because that's not who I am. But I always find the positive. The Ten of Swords is it's behind you. It's done. It's over. If it's somebody who's done it to you and they say it's over, I actually do believe that it is. And if you've done it to somebody else and you're feeling, penitent or repentant, you're trying to tell them that I believe you. Because I feel like this is an over energy. It's like it happened and the person feels badly about it. Well, everybody feels badly about it, right? But I do feel like it's over. Even though it's coming to light, and the whole level of it looks like it's very challenging, and it leaves you with this decision to have to make. And again, Spirit is saying, don't rush into anything, which is difficult, I understand, in these situations, but Spirit is saying, don't do it. So next to that, we have the Page of Wands and the King of Cups. I feel like for the majority of you, the King of Cups is the other person in this relationship issue. This could be a water sign. This would represent a water sign individual, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, because it's cups, which is water energy. It's showing up as a king, but it could be a female as well. And if this isn't their specific Sun, Moon, or Rising sign, then they're showing up as the King of Cups, but they're showing up in the upright position. I feel like for a lot of you, this is the other person in the relationship. It could be you if, you know, it's one of your three signs, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And it maybe could be a best friend who's giving you advice, but it's definitely a significant player in this issue. In the upright position, they're positive. It's emotionally grounded, supportive, nurturing, very emotionally stable and collected. For a small portion of you, I mean, this could also, if this relationship had anything to do with infidelity or cheating, this could be the third party or the other person as well. The interesting thing is, this was at the bottom, what crowns it, the first card that came out is the Page of Wands, which can be, you know, pages can be young person or children, but they also can represent being at the introductory start of something. And I'm feeling that quite strongly with this card. The Page of Wands represents the slate being wiped clean and starting over again in a fresh, new, exciting way. Wands is fire energy, enthusiasm and passion, kind of a fresh new start, gaining momentum. The interesting thing, this card came out first, and then the King of Cups clarified it. It came out when I laid it down, it actually fell down kind of sideways. And while I don't, some of those things you pay attention to and some of them you don't. I always think that spirit moves you if it does or it doesn't. And I felt right away that it came out almost sideways for a reason on top of this King of Cups. The Page of Wands can often represent starting over fresh or having the slate wiped clean and starting over, manifesting, creating something new, exciting. And I feel like whether you're the one that was hurt and you're looking at the other person or vice versa, I feel like whether or not to give the other person a second chance or start over again or a third, you know, or start over again, wipe the slate clean, have this new beginning, I feel like a lot of you are uncertain, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I don't think that whatever decision you make you're not going to be able to come back from. I think it ought to be made over time. I think if at all possible, the majority of you should take the month of April to think about this. You don't need to communicate with the other person or they with you, but you need to take some time to consider it before you decide to, you know, walk away forever or go back together with the person or vice versa. I feel like the opportunity is there, though. Whether you choose to take it or not is entirely your decision. You know, at or towards the end of the month, we have the Eight of Cups, which is the walking away card, leaving behind something which is disappointing, unfulfilling, not for you, looking to move on to something different. And it's clarified by the Eight of Cups, which is new love and romance or new emotional beginnings. This is sometimes the reconciliation card of the heart opening up again. I mean, it's a general reading. It's not for one specific person. So here's the deal. I mean, you have to do what you feel is best for you. If this is a situation where someone's hurt you the same way over and over and over again, obviously it's, you know, if a relationship is toxic, it's toxic. Both people have to be on the same page in order to move forward in a healthy way, regardless of what each person has done, right? If it's really an unhealthy relationship and neither you guys are not on the same page and fixing it in an honest manner, then obviously you have to move on. You have to do what's best for you. I do get the sense for a lot of you, maybe not all of you, but for a lot of you, whoever was the person who hurt you or if you hurt them, if they are saying, genuinely wanting another chance, that they're sorry, etc., and you have a feeling that they are, I feel like that feeling is spot on. This is not going to be the case for everyone. This is like intuitive. You really have to kind of plug in your intuition. The Eight of Cups and the Ace of Cups at the end of the month is going to play out one of two ways. You're either going to walk away from the opportunity for new love and romance or reconciliation or this new emotional awakening. You're either going to walk away from it or you're going to walk away from what caused all of this in order to have this new beginning in the emotional area of your life. Some of you are going to choose one way, some of you are going to choose the other. The fundamental energy, which doesn't change regardless of the situation, is that the opportunity to have that new beginning is there. Whether or not you decide to take it is going to be based on your own personal life, which is impossible to do in a general reading. So it really just depends on what your situation is. But the opportunity for it is there. Be careful about this decision. You know, this does not cover those situations where it's an abusive relationship or you're being harmed or in fear for yourself or your kids or anything like that. If that's the case, get out now, yesterday, 5 minutes ago. This is for, you know, other types of relationships. So, but the Lovers this is significant. And I feel like what decision you make, this is going to be the decision that sets it. So be careful about how you make it and consider the pros and cons of everything before you do. If I leave, if I stay, am I staying because of how I feel, or am I staying because I feel there's a genuine chance for us to move forward in a loving, healthy way? Or am I just staying because I've been with this person for a long time, not because I really feel like we can move forward in a generally loving, nurturing, healthy, sustainable way? So you have to take all those things into consideration. So Virgo, it looks like definitely a month of growth. It definitely has its challenges, but it's something that I think you will learn from. Do what is good. Do what is healthy and loving and good for you. Connect. Maybe connect with whatever your sense of source, divine intuition is. Pray. You know, however you get that. You know, seek out maybe some help and guidance from people whose opinion you trust, i.e. who maybe have good, loving, nurturing relationships or have been through something like this. You know, if you're looking for, you know, I always tell people, if you're looking for relationship advice, you know, you would seek it from somebody that has relationship experience, good, healthy relationship experience. So be careful who you seek advice from. So Virgo, that pretty much wraps up your April 2018 general reading. I hope you have enjoyed it, or at least found it helpful, because that's why we do these. Again, if any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more information and my contact details by looking at the description bar of all the videos I post, and also by going to my YouTube channel's homepage, clicking on that About button. Feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be happy to set up a personal reading with you, live or recorded, sometime over the next couple of weeks. Maybe a little sooner for some of you, since I have more downtime now because of my foot for the next few weeks, so I might be able to get some of you in a little sooner. But email me and we'll go from there. For fast answers to the quick, simple questions, you can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo. They have an audio chat option, a video chat option, an audio chat option, and a texting option, which most people seem to take. Don't we live in such a technologically wonderful world today? It's yet another way of reaching out and touching other people. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the April 2018 mid-month readings, and until then, Virgo, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.